I just came back from Peru. This marks it the 40th country I've traveled to. My Google Maps looks full of golden stars I've been to and green flags which I still plan to go. Here's 3 things I've learned from traveling the world. Number 1, we are all the same. The better you know yourself, the better you will know others. Because fundamentally, we are all the same. It's like an iceberg. You know this picture? You look at the tip of the iceberg, you see other cultures and you think they're very, very different. Forgetting that there's this huge mass below the sea, of the iceberg, which you can't see, that is the same. You have more things in common with people in Africa, Asia and Europe than you think. There's 3 mini lessons here. The first lesson is that remember this next time your government is trying to vilify other cultures. The reality is that these people of that culture are more similar to you than you think. Second mini lesson here is remember this next time you have a business idea. If it's working in your town, there's a high chance it will work in your entire country. And if it's working in your country, there's a high chance it will work globally. I love seeing Starbucks and these big multinationals whenever I travel to a new country, because it's a reminder that we're all more similar than we think. Third lesson, and this relates to dating. The guys that I know often think that it's going to be much easier to date at this part of the world or this part of the world. It's all nonsense. If you can't get laid in your country of origin, you will not be able to get laid in any other country. Versus if you can get laid in your country of origin, you will likely get laid in other countries as well. Culture has very little to do with attractiveness preferences. Dr. David Buss, if you're interested, has some very cutting-edge research on this. So what makes you successful in the dating market, let's say in the US, will also make you successful in the dating market of Europe or South America, let's say. So don't search for an easy way out. Improve yourself, get in shape, be an interesting person, and you will do fine. Second lesson I've learned from traveling to 40 countries is that everything is relatively safe. When I was 19, I took my first long-distance flight to Thailand, and to say that I pooped my pants when I arrived is probably an understatement. The absolute first night, I slept in an apartment that looked like a prison cell. A tough, hard bed with no blanket and literally a roll of toilet paper on top. Why did I stay there? Because it was cheap though. The first night I couldn't sleep, I was constantly on guard, and the next few days as well, constantly on guard. Constantly on guard, ready to fight off possible imaginary predators. I say imaginary because the predators never came. Because generally almost every place in the world is relatively safe. If you travel to Latin America, you will be fine. If you travel to Eastern Europe, you'll be fine. Don't go to Ukraine though. If you travel to Africa, you will be fine. There's a few mini lessons here. Number 1, don't let fear run your life. If you Google, is Latin America safe, you will hear these stories about all these people with shit still hanging from their pants, right? Like, oh no, don't go there. Right, it's relatively safe. It's relative. You're gonna be fine. Fear is beneficial, but most of us have too much fear rather than too little. Number 2, don't be stupid. Most stories I've heard from people getting mocked in those high-risk countries are because they've engaged in stupid behaviors. I was drunk, it was 3 AM, I walked down the street which I shouldn't walk down upon in the zone that I shouldn't be in, and then this guy came out with a knife and I got mocked. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. If you go to a high-risk country and you don't look rich, and you stay in the safe areas, and you don't get drunk, and you get Uber to all of the places, safe places which you plan to go, you're gonna be fine. The third mini lesson here is that you want to be a person that others don't want to mess with. Let's say you're a smart robber, and there are a few of them, right? But let's say you're really committed to robbery as a career. Would you attack all people randomly? Would you attack all foreigners randomly? No. You would likely choose your prey very selectively. You would generally attack the person who looks rich and who looks easy to rob. So your posture and your physical shape generally makes a big difference, whether you're seen as a prey or not. So while you don't have to be Dwayne Johnson, some amount of muscle is clearly a deterrent and makes your life and that of your potential loved ones when you're traveling much, much safer. Third lesson, this is not so much of a lesson but more of a kind of advice to your future, is that if you want to travel, don't do it when you're retired. Instead, do it in small chunks throughout your adult life. Take those mini sabbaticals when you travel and see the world. Because as a 70-year-old, you simply can't do the same things when you're traveling as a 20 or a 30-year-old. So see some parts of the world when you're young. Now, if you're currently watching this video and you think, okay, I really want to travel, what is the best way to prepare for my travels? Number 1, get some amount of marketable skills. Because you don't want to travel constantly worrying about money. So learn how to sell, market, or build great products. To learn these things, you usually have to read. So you have to be an avid reader to get there. So you should start reading some books. Number 2, get in shape. The second way to prepare for your travels is to get in shape. Traveling is much better when you're in fantastic shape. Because you will feel more confident, you will feel more secure, you're less likely to get robbed, and it's much easier to date if you're into that stuff. So get in shape. It's also much easier to not worry about money if you're in shape. Because generally, if you're in shape, you have more energy to work and you're more likely to be perceived as a leader. And if you have more energy and you're more likely to be perceived as a leader, it's very hard to not make money over the long term. So again, get in shape. So one of the best ways to improve your reading habit and your getting in shape habit today is to download my free ebook, The Fit Vegan Secrets. It will outline exactly what you need to do to get in shape as a vegan quickly and sustainably, even if you feel that you've tried almost everything before. The book will help you rewire your brain, so getting in shape is almost effortless. It does so by helping you make the connection with your health and fitness. So if you're vegan, you already understand that anecdote, right? There was this one moment when you made the connection that changed your behavior over the future with veganism. That one book here should help you make that connection in a short afternoon and therefore change your behaviors with your health and fitness over the long term. So it's easier for you to do what you know that you should do. You can get the book for absolutely free by heading over to fitvegans.com/secrets. So thank you for watching this video and I see you next time.